All right, folks, here we are with Investors Corner. This is actually becoming, well, I invented it, but also one of our more popular segments.
Did you come up with the name? You came up with the name?
Yeah.
Because we got a lot of corners. We got a collector's corner. We got an investor's corner. We're just sitting in the corner.
Yeah, I'm a one-trick pony. I have very few skills. You know, going back to Star Wars, it's just
We should just go right. We should just call this podcast corner. Or Chris's corner, Anthony's corner. We got Josh's corner.
Actually, we're all in corners here.
Yeah, exactly.
We are in We have our own corners.
Chris's Corners Archive Services. Is,
we're like the Brady Bunch. Like I'll look at Josh. Josh, how you doing?
But this segment,
Chris, high
right?
five.
Yeah. Bah! Unfortunately, Josh, you weren't here last time. Last time we had a couple of really epic Masters of the Universe sales. This time, Transformers comes out of friggin' the blue, and so you're going to see a lot of Transformers, and only spoiler alert, only one vintage Star Wars item. And Ross and I are probably going to fight about it. So. So, without further ado, why don't we get started with... there's actually going to be 16 items on this list because number 15 ended in a tie. So, we have two number 15s on there, but I didn't want to leave one of them out. So, number 15 on the list is actually something we've seen before. It's a Playmates Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle 55 back, if that's how they count. I counted all the little things on the back. Scratch from 1983. It's a mint on card.
Is that series 220?
Yeah.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
That is. There was a lot of turtles. I'll tell you what. Boy, oh boy, I can't even imagine how they classify those. I mean, I just learned He-Man. I don't even want to. But turtles
You're going to learn it all. You're going to be a 10-trick pony. When we're done with you, Christopher.
So Scratch is, I guess, from one of the last series and was produced in just lower quantities. We've actually seen one of these before, and oddly enough, that one also was not graded. So you turtle folks out there, there's a grading company called CAS I highly recommend. You guys might want to send some of your high-end turtle items. Pretty popular character, pretty valuable character. This Scratch sold in an open auction, meaning that it took bids. Oh, I had a bid for $5,000. That's what opens us up. So
you mentioned we saw this before. This is our first ever Investors Corner, but it was a duo, right? It was Scratch and Hotspot sold in a lot of two. Do you remember how much the two of them sold for?
I want to say it was probably around 5,000, right, for the pair.
It was exactly 5,000 for the pair. So you have this one here alone for $5,000. So it's
a good flip.
Why is that because this one is better condition?
I just think that the
all of them were ungraded. The two and this one. I mean, I don't know about the condition, but they weren't graded.
I think sometimes people that aren't super interested in selling and like to sell things in lots end up losing because there's somebody that wants one or the other, especially when you get to that price, right? So somebody probably threw a price out there and for $5,000 and picked up two, and but it's sell them individually, folks. I mean, if you want the money, do the work. I'm standing on my soapbox. Also, don't call rare things grails. There's a couple of things we need to sell.
A lot of toy education here.
I know.
And don't compare everything to Star Wars.
Yeah, we're very snobby here. We are very, very high end. In fact, I drink my Coca-Cola with my pinky out, if you guys don't notice. That's just how that works. So, anyhow, number 15 also on the list is the Hasbro Transformers Rodimus Prime. It is mint in a sealed box. It's graded near mint 80, but it has a folded flap, which... Not a CAS item, but I don't know if a folded flap gets you an 80. It's Generation 1 Series 3, so apparently they classify Transformers similarly to Masters, so that kind of, something I learned today, an earlier part of the podcast. Hot Rod is an evolution, Rodimus Prime is an evolution of the character Hot Rod. He became... Hot Rod in Transformers the movie when they killed off all of our favorite Transformers and brought ones that weren't nearly as cool, except for Blur, because everybody loves him. But yeah, he was named the leader of the Autobots in 1986. This sold as a buy it now for also $5,000. So
Uh-oh. So I didn't realize you distinguish whether it's an auction or to buy it now. I messed up on my investor's corner.
But I like how you did yours because I like how, because yours being a card related thing, sometimes, I cover the bases pretty well. I know cards pretty well, but it's nice to know what key cards were in that set driving it. So,
I like that.
Yeah, so you actually, but it matters sometimes because sometimes, okay, going back to that hot spot with the and Scratch, right? If that was a buy it now, if that pops up and somebody buys it really, really quick because they spot a good deal, that's not necessarily indicative of the price of that item.
Right.
Right. So sometimes, a buy it now, somebody got a really, really good deal.
No, that's an interesting way that you designate that. If I paid more attention, I would have done the same with mine. But I'm learning.
It's all right. It's all right. It's it's a process.
Learn from the professor.
That's right.
We're all learning from the professor.
Follow in your footsteps. I just want to be like you, Chris.
I get this feeling that you guys like me, but also hate me. So I don't know. It's like I don't know where I stand. I'm short. Hate. I can't see very well. I don't know. Don't have a lot going for me.
Love you, Chris. Come on.
I don't know.
I think the way you position yourself on the screen doesn't make you look any taller either.
Probably not.
You look right. You look like you're 3 feet tall in the screen.
I need to raise my floor.
Are you standing or sitting?
No,
he's standing.
Okay,
he's actually standing on a box. Right
no, okay. I am sitting, but my seat is raised all the way up. I go nowhere. I'm just a short little, I'm a hobbit of a man, and I'm very thankful that I have a wife that will accept that. She calls me her pocket husband. I fit in her purse, and she can take me to the movies. We only have to pay for one. It saves me a ton of money. It's great. So, yeah, it's like her little come here, boy, and I jump in the purse, and there we go. So, and anyways, I'm never gonna get another wife again. So I gotta stick with this one. Anyhow,
moving on.
All right, so sticking with the Transformers theme, number 14 is Hasbro Transformers Grimlock. It's mint in a sealed box, graded near mint 85. Grimlock was the leader of the Dinobots, and I believe they were discovered and built by Wheeljack, who actually I believe also sold this, to defeat Devastator. I think that was their main goal.
Did you know that Wheeljack's lab buys toys, by the way?
I believe he does.
He does buy toys. Can people see this? Yeah, they can see this, right?
Yes,
they can see the pictures.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So
I should know this by now.
Grimlock was my favorite Transformer. And it's the only I had all my Transformers. I sold them all when I was 12. And that's the only Transformer I bought back as an adult.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I did not buy a graded.
No, well, yeah, because this one sold open auction for $5,049, which is half the price of a He-Man multi-pack apparently. So absolutely, probably some of the coolest Transformers were the Dinobots. And segueing into number 3, actually, or 13, actually, is the complete set of Dinobots. Mm-hmm. So number 13 is Hasbro Transformers Grimlock, Swoop, Snarl, and Slag. 4-figure lot. 3 figures are mint in sealed box, but Swoop has its tape cut. The figure's still sealed in the bubble. None of which are graded, but it's a complete set, and it sold for a buy it now of $5,095.
So, Chris, you had said to always maximize your money and split it up. How do you feel about sets?
So I still think people buy things individually. I mean, if let's say that Grimlock was mint and sealed box. What if it goes for an 85? You literally paid back the entire thing with that one purchase.
Yeah,
I agree.
And mint and sealed box Transformers stuff are pricey, and I think $5,095 I buy it now probably is a good deal
for 4. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
that puts 3 sealed, but still. That's...
Well, but even you could still Q grade that Swoop. I mean, he's actually still sealed in the bubble, so he's unplayed with.
Oh.
Yeah, what do you think, Josh? I mean, I think that.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I would definitely see that as, but there are people like Ross said, is do the work if you want to make the money. So there's plenty of people that don't want to put the work in. So
yeah,
they're very satisfied with one deal getting it done with. It's only one, person you have to deal with, one risk.
Less hassle.
Yeah, if you're the type of person,
yeah,
if you're the type of person that has the patience and time to sell, buying in lots always benefits you. All right, back to the list. Number 12 is actually kind of a cool one, and a lot of people don't know that grading NES cartridges is a big deal, but here's one. Mm-hmm. So number 12 is Ultra Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's an NES cartridge. It's mint in a sealed box. It's actually graded by a company called WATA, W-A-T-A, and it's graded 8.5, so it's on a 10-point scale. This was released in 1989. It's based on the animated TV series. It's the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game. It sold as a buy it now for $6,000. And I am never one to so I like to compliment people often. The case on this graded thing sort of looks like it looks like a Blockbuster case. Like if you bought
it looks like a security case that you need to like that thing you'll unlock on the top.
Yeah. They do give a lot of information on it, but like I would imagine stacking them and storing them. I mean, look, it's to each your own, but if you are interested in grading video games, CAS does a very wonderful job.
They do.
With that said, I think WATA has a pretty good filing. They do pretty well.
Yeah.
I think they have the connection to Heritage Auctions, I believe.
Okay.
They're doing quite well. But yeah, I agree. I mean, the casing leaves a lot to be desired. But I think they have what a lot of people want with that forward-facing label on top.
Yeah, I like the classic hidden. Sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, that's why when we make our cases, the label, AFA gives you the option of having that label looking in the case, and from our perspective, it's the item that should be highlighted, not the label. So
I think the label defines it, but the item itself is what you should enjoy.
Yeah,
it's kind of how I see it, Right. And
you see it correctly, Christopher.
Well, thank you. I did something right. Going back to Star Wars, it's like
Hey Chris, this is the first video game that made it into Investors Corner, right?
It did, yes, it is indeed. So, and it just shows you that they're out there. I mean, some of these games are rare. And anything 80s right now is on fire, and people are
just hot, smoking.
And this is a really neat piece, and there's a lot of cool Nintendo games that I would imagine we're going to start seeing, and as time goes on. And we've done Atari, we've done some really cool layouts too. So I mean,
there is a collector's corner. Ross, the original Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, first ever Star Wars video game. You have the display, so there is a collector's corner. We're going to put the link somewhere here above us. It's going to probably be above Josh up there.
Okay.
All right.
I think you got plenty of real estate above Chris's head, so
there's space for rent. Yeah. It's like number 11 is going to be brought to you by Pepsi. It's going to be
we should sell ad space above Chris's
head. If I quit yet, I quit. Yeah. I quit. I'm not feeling love anymore. All right. Back to the list.
We always hurt the ones we love, Chris.
Yeah. All right. Number 11 is a G.I. Joe.
I like this one.
Yes. This is a rare one. And something I'm learning more about, too. So it's a G.I. Joe 20-back Cobra Commander, mint on steel card, graded near mint plus 85. It's a Series 2 figure. So there we go with talking about figures in series again, which is interesting to me. So maybe that's more. Now that I'm starting to see a theme, put these together. But Series 2 figure released in 1983. Now this one is unique in that it's an explosion back, and by that, if you turn over the back, there are cameo boxes that talk about each of the figures, and there are a couple of them on the back that say coming soon. So they were sort of like teasing new figures, but didn't actually show that figure. And this sold in an open auction, meaning it took bids for $6,100.
I actually think that's a reasonable price for Cobra Commander, which is on the card, other than probably Snake Eyes, is the most desirable carded G.I. Joe figure.
Yeah.
I just, as far as I think of like classic 80s action figures, I think it's one of the best. I think just the look of it and just the way he's constructed, and he's the ultimate bad guy. I think this is one of the best figures you can own for 80s toy collecting.
Didn't the voice actor for Cobra Commander also do another
Starscream?
Okay,
Right. I think
it could be. Yeah, it was. I knew it was.
I'm pretty sure it is. Same voice actor. Yeah.
So,
I'm looking at this listing too. It's crazy that whoever listed this figure not only listed Cobra Commander Explosion back, but also said Snake Eyes Storm Shadow in the same thing. Like, really? Like, this has nothing to do with either of those figures. You think
just keywords?
You're bringing them in. You're bringing the people.
Keyword search. They're maximizing their exposure there.
Oh, the people looking for Storm Shadow won't know what hit them.
Right.
They're gonna find this Cobra Commander.
It's like all the people that are trying to sell Zodiacs that will say like Scareglow just to get them all on there. So,
hey, so for comparison, your January list. Remember we did a mail away Mickey Mouse Cobra Commander.
yes.
Do you? All right. Ask Chris.
Wow.
How do you
well
use that?
done.
Right.
Well done.
We're going to play Card Sharks. Do you think that this carded Cobra Commander was higher or lower in value than the graded Mickey Mouse mail away Cobra Commander?
So I love the fact that you are doing this part of the research because I don't do that. So thank you for doing that.
I have a lot of spare time, so it's
watching the Yankees actually. Win a
I
game,
do nothing
that's
but
great.
watch Yankee highlights all day. So.
I don't recall, but I'm going to say I believe this is higher.
Oh
no! Yay!
Correct. Yes. So that so the mail away, which I believe was in the 80, I don't remember, but it was just under 5,000. It was like 49 and change. So
Okay.
I would have to ask Ross. So which do you think is more desirable, more rare, more valuable? Would it be that Mickey Mouse mail away, or would it be this 80?
Well,
Really?
actually, no. Hold on. The explosion back. The explosion back aspect of it makes this a pretty tough piece, and in this condition as well. I don't know. That probably I would say this piece is tougher to get.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
From a display
you
standpoint, I'd rather have the Mickey Mouse one because that one just looks cool with all the paperwork and all that. But
No.
Yeah.
Very good, Chris. That's why you're the what does CAS know champion right now.
yeah,
So.
it's with a 50-50 shot, I got half of them right. So yay! All right, number 10 on the list is a Poppy or Popey Shogun Warriors. This is mint with an open box, but it's complete. It's not graded. Popey is a Japanese company that is a subsidiary of Mattel, or at least was at that point in time, because I know Kenner also did, going back to Star Wars, Kenner also did have Popey products. Sorry. This is a 23.5-inch tall action figure, and the Popey version has weapons that were not compatible with the U.S. release versions, and they actually had like rocket firing wrist gauntlets and stuff that were eventually the types of things that were discontinued in the late 70s because of the whole Battlestar Galactica thing. So this sold in an open auction for $6,830. This is actually a line, again, a little bit maybe before my time, but I believe featured like Godzilla and a lot of these really tall, the Japanese figures that were in a lot of those Japanese shows that we'd watch. So definitely a really cool, sizable item. But again, $6,300. I mean, maybe some that didn't get it graded. Just saying. We do a great job on it. It looked great. So there's that one, and that's our first Shogun Warriors on the Investors Corner. So welcome, Shogun Warriors. All right, going back to Transformers again, absolutely dominating the list. Number 9 is Hasbro Transformers Soundwave mint and sealed box. It's graded near mint 85. This is a Generation 1 Series 1 pre-rub. So for those of you guys who don't know, the right in the middle of Soundwave's where the cassette would go, you can actually see a logo for a Transformer, but you can't tell what it was. And that's considered the rub sign, and that came in later edition toys. So when they say pre-rub, that means that that those figures wouldn't have that, and then the later versions did have that. So this is a later version of a Generation 1 figure. So and this was sold as a buy it now for $7,500. And we've done a really cool custom on a Soundwave with all the cassettes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's pretty sweet.
Oh, that is definitely one of those ones that every now and again I'll pull up at a show and people are like, well, what do your customs look like? Oh, buddy, you got that's one that very, very, very proud of. So, yeah. Number 8 on the list is another Transformer. Hasbro Transformers Optimus Prime. This one is not graded. It's Series 1, Generation 1. And this is a first edition, so pre-rub. So this one won't have the rub on it, like we pointed out with Soundwave. And I believe the rub sign on Optimus Prime was always on the top of the cab. So this is an earlier version. So it has the rubber tires, and I guess there's some metal skid plates on the inside of the tractor trailer, and there's a box variation with that as well. This sold as an open auction and had 40 bids and got to $7,600 not graded. So for a sealed generation or sealed first edition Optimus Prime, raw is $7,600.
Raw.
We had 2 of these last month, right? We had the what we call the straight line version, right? Which we learned was a factory flaw.
Somebody commented on that, and Michael Havens found something. So straight line, and this would also be a straight line. I'd have to guess is that when you turned over the tech specs, they were, I guess, easy to read. And then they made them harder to read, so that decoder seemed like to have a little bit more of a point to it. So yeah, $7,600 not graded. That's pretty sizable. You're getting up there with these Transformers. Number 6, another Transformers. So we have a tie for number 6. Hasbro Transformers Superion gift set. It's graded a near mint 80. This is a Generation 1 Series 3. And this contained all 5 Aerobots that combined to form Superion. And the gift sets were oftentimes released around the holidays as a way to make some of these smaller point of purchase, like so the some of the smaller Aerobots were rather affordable and were probably like stocking stuffer type money, but when you bought the whole gift set, you're talking about a bigger, more substantial piece. And they were similar to Masters of the Universe, Josh. I mean, these were much, much, much harder to find and cool. Yeah. In fact, there was a loose one of these I really considered buying. It was open but had the box and all that. Considered buying at ICC because I always thought, number one, this is one of my favorite combiners, and obviously pretty hard to find. So this sold for a buy it now for $8,000.
Wow. This is very Voltron-like. It's like, 4 guys combining to But, all right, so I'm going to bring up, this is, I don't know, the 5th or 6th, and there's another one. This Mr. Wheeljack, whoever he is, he must have had some type of find, and I think that's why Transformers is dominated this month. He probably had some find,
or moving a collection
because graded and got them and just put them out all this month because Transformers dominated this list.
He's a very, very prolific eBay seller for Transformers.
Mr. Wheeljack.
Yeah.
What is Wheeljack? Is that a Transformer?
Yeah, Generation 1 first series Autobot cars.
Is that right? No.
It was. I don't know what it was. I mean, I don't know how to describe Wheeljack because he wasn't the race car. And he wasn't a Lamborghini, but he was sort of like not a Formula One, but like some sort of a sports car that was neither a Lamborghini, because you had 2 Lamborghinis, Sunstreaker and the red Lamborghini. I'm drawing a blank on his name. But so this was another, and he was the guy that had the little flashing lights next to when he talked. So it was like the scientist, the Transformers scientist. So he would always kind of fill in some of the science behind why things would or wouldn't work in Transformers. He's the one that discovered the dinosaur bones in the cave that they crashed into that made the Dinobots. It turns out I watched that cartoon 2 or 3 times. So
that gets an eye rub from me. It's amazing that you know that, and also really scary.
I'm a nerd. I don't know what do you want me to say?
All right, next item.
All right.
Next item on the list.
Move along.
All right, so this is one that I know Ross is not a huge fan of, and I would love to have. So this is kind of where I say we fight about it. So, and then this one actually, I've tried to find on eBay again, and I think the seller deleted it, but it was a legitimate sale, at least when I pulled the list together. So this is the only vintage Kenner item on the list. So this is a Kenner Star Wars Luke Skywalker.
Does that hurt you that we have no Star Wars on this list, Chris?
Well, it kind of shows. Well, so
I'm
if
surprised.
if you are there was not a lot.
Or snob like you. Or no.
Well, the thing is does that mean that Star Wars might be looking for a jump pretty soon because all these other lines have surpassed it? So
I'm hoping this means that it's going to be a low soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a lot of Star Wars collectors have moved on.
Maybe.
Yeah, but lows are relative, so that low that it's at now is still the high. So
It's for a lot. Yeah, it's already priced out of a lot of people's range for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a Luke Skywalker with telescoping saber. So it is graded good 40 with a 30 bubble. So the bubble is significantly crushed. Right. So this is a 12A. Telescoping sabers were two-part lightsabers. Were two-part lightsabers that were discontinued early in the Kenner run due to quality issues. They were super fragile the minute they came out. They are even more fragile today. If I've mentioned this before, if you have a Luke, Ben, or Darth Vader on a 12-back card and you're not sure if it's a double telescoping saber, don't open it to find out. Right, Ross?
Oh no! Yeah, another time I'll tell that story, but that's a doozy.
Ouch. Yes. So typically these were found in the early bird set. DT sabers are also found on all for Luke at least were found on all of the 12-back variations, so the 12A, B, and C. This sold for a best offer for $9,999. And the reason why I say we would fight over it is I would take a 40 DT saber Luke all day long. And Ross, I know you've been on record as saying before that this is a variation that you find very uninteresting, right?
Oh yeah, there was a time that I collected. I actually had a nice DT run of Ben, Vader, and Luke in pre-production ones.
Yeah,
pre-production and all that stuff. And after a while, I was like, got all this value in these, and the sabers are interesting, kind of, but to have all that money tied up into a little tiny piece of plastic, just after a while, I was like, nah.
Yeah, I'd love to have one, but I would never spend the money on it.
Yeah,
like if I came across it in the collection, I'd keep it. But
yeah. Same here.
But it's a huge part of Star Wars collecting.
Oh, I love them.
And they're highly desirable. And the price on this one seems reasonable. I guess. For me to spend $10,000 on a carded figure that the bubble's destroyed.
But what did it sell for though? What he is asking was $9,999, but you have 8,000 here. Did it sell for
8,000? Yeah.
Did it? So I didn't copy that on mine. So
yeah, it says 8,000.
Okay, so sorry. So it sold for 8,000. I must not have copied all the way on there. So it was a best offer. And Josh, how bad is cracking an issue with Master stuff? Is that a big deal now?
Yellowing, cracking is horrible, and the figures are heavier than Star Wars. Getting back to Star Wars, so.
Yes, I'm not the only one.
I've opened.
We need to reduce Chris's volume.
I get very excited.
We know.
Vindicated.
We know. Even actually just slide right off the card, so the bubble can actually detach completely off the card.
Wow.
Not just cracking. You actually have, the glue just dries.
So what if you just staple it? Would that help you?
Oh yeah, that's what you should do.
So yeah, I'll digress. All right, so this next one is one I'm gonna I had nothing to do with this, but because it's a CAS item, I'm extremely proud of and love. And it's Transformer again, but number 5 is Hasbro Transformers Megatron, signed by Frank Welker. This is a CAS Signature Series Gold Label 75, Series 1, Generation 1, JSA Signature Verified. Absolutely awesome in every respect of the word. They were asking $11,999 for it, and it sold for $9,000, and I would take that all day long. That is awesome. For those of you not familiar with our signature series, so obviously at some point in time, the owner of this mint and seal box, Megatron, came across the voice actor and had them sign it. And back in the day, signatures used to be looked at as damage, and but it's not. It's awesome.
Well, the other grading companies do distinguish it, consider it damage. Absolutely, will knock the grade. Not your old buddies at CAS.
Well, no, because, the thing is autographs are something people like. And, if you don't like an autograph, don't buy the piece, but I don't think it should hurt the value if for some people it enhances it. So long as you put it in a category, and in this case, the category being the gold label signature series, now you have a really iconic Transformer signed by the person that did the voice. And now, and the cool thing about it is because it's sealed, it's tamper-proof from here on out, right? JSA has certified it. It is rock solid provenance. It's done. And now you never have to worry about the person that bought this has no concerns over whether or not that was a real signature. It's a done deal. So yeah, and an iconic piece. I remember going back, was it 1984, 85? In 5th grade, I actually took that to school. Hey, but you could. It's just different.
Wouldn't fly today, buddy. I'll tell you that right now.
No, sir. But it's just different times. I mean, cops and robbers, and Megatron, and I had it on my desk. In the olden days, kids, things were a little bit different. So yeah. So.
Move along.
Yeah. So
yes. I think we need to like play the Oscars music for Chris.
Move along.
Yeah. Come here. So
let's go, Chris. Keep it going.
Sorry,
keep it going.
I'm a plethora of information. I apologize. So number 4 on the list is, you guessed it, another Transformer. This one,
gosh.
Yeah, another Optimus Prime. Optimus Prime, I think, has shown up twice on all 3 of our investors' corners. So he is definitely like a mainstay. So this is Transformers Optimus Prime with Pepsi sticker. It was graded near mint plus 85, Generation 1, Series 1. The Pepsi sticker versions were premiums sponsored by Pepsi, but I couldn't figure out if they were giveaways.
I have no idea.
Yeah, they're out there. I don't know if you could win them or what. This one happened to they said the seller, or I read it somewhere, had acquired it because they knew somebody that worked for Pepsi. So, but the Pepsi sticker in the corner is actually a packet that has 2 Pepsi stickers with the idea of putting them on Optimus Prime and turning him into a Pepsi delivery truck.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a cool idea. I never do that.
Yeah, I saw some pictures. I'm like, that's really neat. So, yeah, a little bit of factoid. So, this sold as a buy it now for $9,500.
So in theory, Hasbro or Ken or whoever made it had nothing to do with the promotion, and Pepsi's like, let's put a packet on your product.
Yeah.
And so that you could turn that product into a Pepsi truck.
There was some guy at Pepsi going, dude, I have the best marketing idea.
Right.
Let's go buy 5,000 Optimus Primes. Meet me in the board in the break room. We're going to go ahead and turn this into something. So, yeah. So, kind of a cool thing, and a little bit of a premium for an 85. So, you said that an 85 sold last week for less than that. So, or last month. So, you get a little bit of a premium for a Pepsi sticker. So, this one I had to do a little bit of research on. So, number 3 is Kenner starting lineups, 1995 Magic Johnson Far East Asian Edition. All right, so this is not graded, but looks near mint. It's a test market piece that was sold in Japan, in Korea, and possibly China. So the standard 1996 version was discontinued because Magic Johnson retired from basketball in 1996. The USA versions of starting lineups featured the Hoops brand cards, while this one featured a Skybox version, which is just a different brand of cards, but it's a significant variation. The other characters that were test marketed in Asia all had the Hoops cards in there. So this is the only one that had the Skybox one. So it's unique in that sense. And it was sold buy it now for $9,999.
Wow.
That's an interesting piece. I think there's a lot going on with it. If I have a favorite from this Investors Corner, that would be it. What a cool piece. Starting lineups, I think for many, many years, up until 2 years ago, $20-$30
At
most of them, other than like the very rare ones. Obviously this is a test market piece and it's a different class, but I even think this a few years ago wouldn't go for more than a few $1,000. Not at this level. It's crazy.
Not at this level, but the information I got on this was from, I believe, a Tough Stuff magazine, and which dates us a little bit, but they were saying and it was an article that came out in 1996, and even in 1996 these were selling for like $300 to $500.
Wow.
Do you have any like sort of production numbers or?
No, I but very I guess similar to like your Generation 1 8-backs, they were probably just kind of seeded to see how they were going to sell. And interesting because the NBA is really big in China and in Eastern Asia now, and you kind of wonder, I'll make this quick, but NBA basketball is really maybe behind football the biggest sport, right? In terms of, baseball gets more games, but from national dollars and internationally, right? Not always the case. If you think about it, like basketball cards, they skipped like 3 years because nobody cared, right? Then all of a sudden, I believe, when David Stern got in to be commissioner, like he marketed them in ways that, just springboarded basketball into the spotlight. And I think, this is probably a piece that not only is cool in and of itself, but probably really represents, trying that, and like putting major league players in the Olympics were really a good way of putting this on the international scene. So, yeah, my little bit of history lesson here. So, all right, we'll move on. I know that these can be lengthy, and I apologize. I can talk forever. So, number 1 and number 2 are identical items. They're two different ones, but identical items, and Anthony, I think, smiling because you probably noticed that I spelled Funko Pop wrong again. Funko Pop Star Wars holographic Darth Maul.
Actually, the way you spell it makes more sense.
Yeah.
Fun Company.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I think they should change their name.
There you go. You know what?
They should change their name.
And put it with a C for Chris. That makes
I think that we should buy the rights to Funko with a C. Let's just do that.
There you go. And you'll be able to start
all
selling.
right.
We should start a Funko corner. Segment of our show.
How about a fun corner?
Hey,
Fun
that's
corner.
dirty.
Actually, ironically, Anthony kind of brought up the fact that I haven't been searching Funko Pops specifically, and there's a lot of high-end Funko Pops that I missed.
But
so maybe we need.
It's only this month. It's crazy. It was only in March. All of a sudden in March, Funko exploded.
High-end
right?
ones were
It was
selling.
Ridiculous. Yeah.
So I missed some. So this list is not actually complete because there were some Funko Pops that I missed. But so this is a
You're fired.
Well, I quit. I quit several times.
You're fired.
So this one is a Star Wars holographic Darth Maul. It's graded not by us 9.0. Do we grade ours on a 10-point scale too? I don't understand why they do.
It's on the 100-point scale. Is this AFA?
Yeah.
It's because it's modern. All their modern stuff is on a 10-point scale.
That makes no sense to me. That makes no sense.
I don't know why they do it that way.
Yeah, I mean, stay consistent.
You mean the other guys?
Yeah, the other. Well, it's kind of strange to me. Like, I understand why we're going to do it with our sports card stuff because it's industry standard. Got it. Makes sense to me. Yep. Right? Why you would switch it for this makes no sense just because it's modern. I mean, if
those jerks.
Well, I'm not trying to so I'm not bashing AFA, but
Yeah,
even
that's okay.
Well, but
That's okay.
the fact that they have for video games instead of AFA it's VGA, and then for their dolls it's
All right, Chris, come on.
Yeah.
no, but the thing is, from a branding standpoint, that makes no sense.
There is no hate, Chris.
Can you be
there is no hate.
professional? Yeah.
Well, it's not how I would do it.
They're a wonderful company, Chris.
I'm not. Wow.
So, some of my best friends work for AFA.
Yeah. They got families to feed too,
They
Chris.
do. They do. And
Are you trying to put them out of business here?
They are a great number 2 company. They are wonderful out there. So, All right, so this is graded 9.0. It's a 2012 San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, limited to 480 pieces, but I can't see any numbering on this. So, it's one of 480, but you don't know which one it is. Sold in an open auction for $12,000. And then number 1 is the exact same piece sold as a buy it now for $13,000. And the way I see this playing out is the somebody lost the open auction one and was like, screw it, I'm just gonna go ahead and pay $13,000 for this other one and just call it a day. That's how it plays out in my mind. I don't know. That's not science. That's how I see it.
That's the thing about the Funkos. You really got to know these, obviously, and I'm sure the people that collect them know it. If I saw that Darth Maul holographic,
I wouldn't afford it for $20.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly where I was going, Josh.
Yeah, and not bashing what it's worth. It's just I would have known.
It looks like just all the other junk that they sell.
If
did I say that?
If somebody returned it to a Target today and it was sitting next to a Black Series Jar Jar Binks, I'd be like, I kind of like Jar Jar Binks a little bit better. I don't know. It's not,
Yeah.
Dude, but they have a crazy following. A lot of people really love them, and will dip their whole life savings into all these different variations and stuff. God bless them.
Well, and going back to the signature series, the cool thing about Funko Pops is that there's a lot of characters that don't have action figures. Fun Crisp Pops that don't have action figures. So, like, for example, and it ended up getting canceled last year, but it's the Lexington Comic-Con was going to have the entire cast of Breakfast Club, right? They don't have action figures, but they have Funko Pops. Yep. That would have been awesome to get those signed and for us to do the signature series grading on those. That would have been awesome.
I saw a full set of comic book men.
Okay.
They had a signed set of them.
Yeah, see, that would be really cool, right?
Right, because you can't get anything else of them, so...
Right, yeah, they don't have action figures, but to have a Funko Pop makes sense, and to get it signed makes sense. Then to send it to us makes sense. It's just all this makes sense.
So Chris, we were texting a little bit today, right?
Yes.
About the Funkos because we were amazed that it sold for that much. So I just looked up a little bit about because I know nothing about Funko except I see them at every toy show we go to and they're everywhere. Right. So there are certain things about Funkos that make them more desirable, more valuable. Right? Okay. I knew none of this. All right, so. Have you ever heard of a Chase series, Funko Chase?
No, not specifically.
All right, so I looked at the top 20 most valuable Funko Pop vinyls, right? So first of all, 16 of them are Comic-Con exclusives. Okay. 15 of them are all San Diego Comic-Cons, just like I think that Darth Maul was a San Diego Comic-Con, right? The other one there was one in New York City Comic-Con that was, but there's something called a Chase Pop. So what Funko Pop does is for each character, they alter the figure somehow. They change. It could be very subtle. It could be very obvious. And it's called a chase version of that figure. And it used to be pretty rare, maybe like 1 in every 36. Like let's say there was a Darth Maul. 1 in every 36 happened to have this chase variation. And it would be cased in maybe 1 in every 10 boxes, something like that. And more recently, it's maybe 1 in every 6. And there's this gold Chase label on it. So that makes it more desirable. And the older it is, the less common it was. So the older ones with this Chase label would make it more common.
Okay.
So that's one. It seems like there's the glow in the dark versions, which also this Darth Maul happens to be a Chase and a glow in the dark. 7 out of the 20 most valuable Funko Pops are glow in the dark.
Huh.
And then there's this character, Freddy Funko, who is, I guess, is the company's mascot. They make him into different characters. Like there's a Freddy Funko, Jamie Lannister, right? There's a Freddy Funko.
With or without hand, or is it,
Well, it's funny.
Leatherface, too.
Leatherface.
Yeah.
There's a bloody Jamie Lannister is a bloody version.
Yeah.
In one of these, there's so many top 10 most valuable. There's a Ned Stark.
Headless?
With detachable head. So that's another factor that makes it valuable. So the things that make these Funko Pops more valuable are they these Chase variants? Are they Comic-Con exclusives? Are they Freddy Funko? And are they glow in the dark? So those are the 4 characteristics that seem to make Funkos more popular, desirable, valuable.
It seems to me, now I'm jumping ahead a little bit to what we're going to talk about in some of the packs and boxes stuff, but and Josh, if you're a card collector, you may know this better than me, but it seems like Funko is doing a lot of what the modern day card companies are doing. Just they're manufacturing rarity.
Right, exactly. They're
Right?
creating one of ones. Like
One of ones. So the reason that like Mike
Yeah.
Trout, who's a modern, baseball player, that these cards can go for $3 million because they're making 2 or 3 or whatever it is, and it essentially it's manufactured rarity, and they're creating like the Willy Wonka golden ticket essentially, right? So that it gets people to buy boxes and boxes and boxes of this stuff.
But they call it what it is. It's a chase.
Yeah.
It is a chase.
Right.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
That's the point. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very smart marketing.
absolutely.
Yeah, because it keeps
They're
people
doing
in the
something
hunt. Right.
They are doing something right. All right.
All started with 1990 Upper Deck, just so you know. So, first chase card. Finally, Reggie. So this is a little bit of a wrap up. So this list of 16, because we had extra, had 8 Transformers, 2 Star Wars Funko Pops, Funko with a K, 1 vintage Star Wars item, which is absolute blasphemy, 1 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Going back to Star Wars.
31. There's Star Wars snub reference 31.
1 NES game for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, 1 starting lineup, 1 Shogun Warrior, and 1 G.I. Joe. So no variety because Transformers decided that they were just going to like take their ball and go home. So
Wheeljack.
Mr.
Blame
Wheeljacks.
yeah. He had a good month, Mr. Wheeljack.
Good, Mr. Wheeljack. He buys toys, by the way, in case you didn't know. In case you didn't know.
It turns out. All right, so that brings us to the end of Investors Corner Toy Edition, and I'll let Ross name the next Investors Corner that's coming up. That is Investors Corner Card Edition. I just named it. So.